So welcome guys back to another video in the channel. Today we're doing another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily. We are finally back for the transfer window after a bit of an iffy season on the channel. We are finally back and hopefully uploading consistently for Arsenal transfer updates. And today we are starting with the big breaking news of Gabriel Jesus. Fabrizio Romano in the last 24 hours has confirmed that Gabriel Jesus to Arsenal is now a here we go. Personal terms are now fully agreed with his agent Marcelo Pittinati and his two partners. Gabriel signs until 2027. It is 100% done. Arsenal already agreed the £45 million fee of Manchester City as revealed on last Friday. Edu and Arteta were said to be key on the deal. He further backs out by saying that Gabriel Jesus will fly to England from Brazil this week in order to undergo medicals and sign the contract valid until June 2027 as the new Arsenal player. Manchester City will now focus on more signings after securing the sale of Gabriel Jesus. Now it is confirmed, it will be confirmed pretty much this week, and the medical looks like it's now been booked for this week for Gabriel Jesus to officially sign as an Arsenal player. Now, look, he's a player that I've said previously I would like to have him at the club. When we do look at the market for strikers, I feel like the market isn't so great for strikers at the moment in the Premier League. Especially in Europe, and when you're looking at a player who has 1 year left on his deal, maybe 45 million is on the more hefty side. I do agree with that. However, Manchester City are probably saying to Arsenal, look, if you're not going to pay the £45 million, another club may turn around and say, yes, we will pay that money, or maybe Jesus could turn around and sign a new contract. And I think Manchester City are in that privileged position where they can ask for that sort of money, and they're in a position where they can ask for that sort of money from Arsenal. An interesting stat is actually he has got only 14 goals, but he doesn't start a lot of games. This, as we know, Pep Guardiola has opted to not always go for the striker option. Obviously that's changed now. They've signed Haaland and Alvarez, but it does look like he does have one of the best goals per 90 in Premier League history, actually, only behind Sergio Aguero and Thierry Henry. So look, he looks like he has good potential moving forward, and a player that Arteta looks to know quite well already because he's obviously worked with him from his time at Manchester City. And I think Gabriel Jesus will be a good signing for us. Definitely a Premier League proven player is what I've been asking for, a lot of people have been asking for, and yes, he does fit that Project U sort of style, if that's the sort of terminology we're gonna suggest by. So I think, look, Gabriel Jesus is a good signing. Hopefully he does score for us, because I think for strikers they have to hit out on the front foot. They have to, start as they mean to continue, and hopefully Gabriel Jesus can do that for us and he can fire us to glory. It looks like our striking options next season will only consist of Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus. Nketiah obviously signing a contract earlier this month. And look, Jesus, good signing. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below about Gabriel Jesus. Really could be a good signing for Arsenal or not. And let's get straight into the next piece of news. Now we're going to be talking about Raphinha, another top tier signing that Arsenal are looking to make in this summer transfer window, after obviously securing the services of Fabio Vieira along with Matt Turner and Marquinhos. Fabrizio Romano, the most reliable out there, he said that Arsenal have already scheduled a meeting with Leeds and United next week, and Leeds want £65 million. Barcelona are still in contact with his agent Deco after personal terms were agreed, but no fresh bid yet. Tottenham and Chelsea are still in talks with agents, and the race is still open. So from this, it seems like Arsenal are the only team that are in direct negotiations with Leeds United to secure the signing, and are the most interested in terms of trying to finalise the deal as soon as possible. As we know, Barcelona, they do have a long-standing interest in Raphinha, as well as personal terms being agreed and interest been there for a while. However, it does seem like Barcelona are more reluctant to meet the £65 million asked by Leeds, and obviously due to their financial situation at the moment, which isn't so great at the moment, which probably will be ironed out in the next few weeks. Raphinha wants his future sorted out, and maybe Arsenal are the opportunity and the club that want to get this done as soon as possible. Spurs are still looking at Richarlison. Chelsea are focusing on Raheem Sterling and Ousmane Dembele. So I think other clubs having other targets. Even Arsenal looks like they've secured Jesus now. So I think the next one they'll move on to is Raphinha. And look, Raphinha is a typical sort of Brazilian player. He has that flair. He has everything you need. Has about 10 goals, I think, something like that, in the Premier League last season. So it's not the greatest. but someone who can steadily improve and has the serious potential to be that player for Arsenal. 65 to 70 million pounds is very much on the big heavy side, I would say. Is he worth that much? No, but if he's a player that we want to give hefty competition to make competition for places, and for someone like Saka to give someone Saka rest to, obviously Saka will need rest this season. We're playing in 3-4 different competitions this season, and if it looks like that Nicola Pepe will be leaving, Bukayo Saka will need a rest. And if it's someone like Raphinha we're bringing in to provide that competition, then it's a serious signing, and does show intent in the transfer window for Arsenal. Whether Arteta can bring the best out of Raphinha and how will that combination go with Saka, and how you link up with the likes of Jesus will be very interesting to see. But looks like we are building that Brazilian core. Edu looks like he's got off the barbecue and he's finally getting the deals done. And I think this one is the next one we'll move on to after the Gabriel Jesus one. It was reported that we did have a bid rejected, one or two bids rejected for Raphinha already, which were not well below the mark of what Leeds after, but kinda. Around 10 to 20 million apart in valuation. So it does look like Arsenal are testing the waters for Raphinha to see if they can try and secure it for a lower price. I think if Leeds got relegated, it would have been much easier to try and secure this signing, but they have stayed up. So I think for a Premier League proven player, as we have seen, looks like Arsenal are trying to sign quite a few of those with Tielemans linked and among others. So it does look like we want to sign those Premier League proven players to try and get back into the Champions League and try and compete at like a more competitive level, which is what we all want. So look, Raphinha is a player I'll definitely take. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would you take Raphinha? I think he has that flair, and with Brazilian you definitely expect that, but moving to a better team like Arsenal, would that help him get to that next level where I think he can go? And with maybe Martinelli on the other side, Raphinha, Jesus, looks like we are bolstering that front line to a better competitive edge and try and create competition and try and add more options to try and score goals, to try and win games more quicker, better, greater. So if we are able to do that, and if Raphinha is part of that plan, I'll definitely be up for that. And even if we have to pay 65 million, look, if you want a player, sign the player. As simple as that. And sometimes you don't have to look at the price tag. You have to just say, look, if we want him, you have to pay the money, and it's as simple as that. And one more thing I would like to show you is, before we end on the segment on Raphinha, is some comments he had to say on Arsenal a year or two back when he was asked on them. So check this one out.
O Arsenal acompanhava na época que o Henry estava voando, então foi onde eu comecei a acompanhar a Premier League, foi onde eu comecei a entender, comecei a botar na minha cabeça que era onde eu queria jogar, onde eu estava vendo os melhores jogadores do mundo jogando esse campeonato, e eu botei na minha cabeça que um dia eu queria estar, na época, um dia eu queria.
So as we have seen, he does have an intent of wanting to play in the Premier League and for the big clubs like Arsenal. So it does look like he does admire the club a lot, and to be fair with a lot of these players, they do. But I think time will tell. I think in the next week or so, we will get a better gauge of where Raphinha's future lies. So time will tell on this one. The last player I want to discuss, and has also been in the face of many tier 1 news outlets, is Lisandro Martinez of Ajax. Now, it does look like we have bid for this player and rejected bid. He is a defender who does play for Ajax, obviously, left-sided centre-back, and can also cover at left-back. Now, in some ways, this does make sense, this signing, as we probably do need some defensive reinforcements, especially if maybe Holding leaves, if Pablo Mari leaves, who is our other left-sided centre-back, along with Gabriel. Remember, we loaned out Mari to Udinese in January, and he's going to be coming back off that loan. Whether he does leave to another club remains to be seen, or whether what happens with that, whether he comes back or leaves. But for defensive reinforcements, this is the player we are looking at, Lisandro Martinez, with a price tag close to around 45 to 50 million pounds. So this, again, is another expensive signing, which I think we'll probably look at after the Raphinha deal. So we're going in order here: Jesus, Raphinha, Martinez. Again, I'm not too sure whether we will complete the signing, mainly for the fact that I think we still do have Nuno Tavares. The main club interested in him at the moment is Atalanta, with some interest from Marseille. Is it going to be a permanent sale for Tavares, or are we going to loan with option, or is it going to be a straight loan? What is going to be the situation? And I think this signing, and along with other targets like Hickey for that left back role to try and cover Patini, try and cover Gabriel, is going to be more to do with the fact that what's going to happen with Pablo Mari and what's going to happen with Nuno Tavares. And I think then we'll make a move for someone like Lisandro Martinez. So I think that's the sort of premise I think this will go off. But I think Lisandro Martinez, again, is a top player. And again, if we're going to provide competition for Gabriel Jesus, with also William Saliba coming back and probably going to provide competition for Ben White, Holding would probably be the fifth one, and Lissandro and Gabriel would be the two for the left-sided centre-back role. So if they're the five centre-backs we're going with, I would be personally very happy, because I think that's a strong five centre-backs we have there for us to use next season, especially when we're trying to compete at all fronts. And we know that 2 seasons ago that was a big struggle for us. So it depends on how we are going to look at it and what sales are going to happen, what interest there are in our players. I think this is more of a, because I don't see us having Pablo Mari, Holding, Lisandro, Tavares. I don't see us having all of them. I think this is going to be one, if we can make sales happen, this will happen. If not, I don't think it will. I don't think it's a priority, but I think it's a major target we do have for that defensive reinforcement that looks like we do want to bring in for that area. So again, it's a player I'll definitely take. He does look like a very solid option for us, and I have made a video on him, so go check that one out. I'll try and put it above here, or it will be one of the later previous videos on my channel. But that is it on Lisandro Martinez, and that does conclude this video, which I did talk about 3 of our major targets this season. One's about to be concluded in Gabriel Jesus very soon, 1 or 2 days now, not long left. Raphinha, meeting is scheduled to take place, if that was to take place, that deal in the next week. So very soon, Raphinha, we're going to find out what's going to happen with that one. And Lisandro Martinez is one to watch out for, because I do think there's something in this, and it will be dependent on what action we do take place in the rest of this transfer windows. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next one. Bye bye.